Happy Friday! What's going on, y'all? It's Nick here with F.O.F Financial Coaching LLC, and I'm here today to talk about what else? Money. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Hope you guys are enjoying your Friday. Now, you know me as your financial coach. I want to see you do well with money. I want to see you transcend with money. I want to see you be the best steward that you can be with the money that God has entrusted you with, all right? So this right here is a new series. We're going to be talking about legacy for the next 4 videos. I hope you guys enjoy it. I want you to think about what it is that you can pass down to your children, what you can pass down to your children's children, all right? Now, legacy, of course, from financial terms, we're really talking about what type of money, what type of property, what you're actually going to leave them. Obviously, there's much more you can leave in your children, such as who you are, such as knowing God. There's so many other things besides material things, besides money. But I just want to put an emphasis on money because I think it's important to pass on a legacy, okay? This right here is video number 3. So I hope that you guys enjoy these videos, all right? So look, if you want to catch these as well as any of my other videos, please go to my website at www.foffcoaching.com. Now, if you have a question for me or you'd like to get some financial coaching, please don't hesitate. Send me an email at foffcoaching@gmail.com. You can also get at me on the website. There's a comment box there and I will answer it for you, okay? So listen, we're about to get into the video. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for your time. Have a good one. Here's the video. Now, the last person I have on the list, same lineage, but totally different point in time. So who's the last person we got on the list? Solomon, King Solomon himself. King Solomon is like, to me, if you look at any rich person today, he's probably like the closest to a normal like rich person who maybe like don't really believe, because Solomon, he had a lot going on, but Solomon was like, he was living it up. At some point, he was living it up. But I really like Solomon because I feel like he used his life to try and help through Proverbs, through Ecclesiastes. He like used his life to show like what was important and still trying to glorify the Lord. So, where did Solomon get his money from?
Ultimately, David.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you remember how David left stuff for him to build a temple?
Mm-hmm. So,
And it's all that stuff. Right.
Here we go. So,
God asked him,
go ahead.
what about one? He said, wisdom.
Right.
And that's when he magnified.
So, there you go. There you go. But when it started, so David is the example of somebody working from the ground up. David started from the bottom, right? He was a shepherd. Was David the youngest son of Jesse, I believe? So the portion of inheritance that he would have got from his father would have been very low because, he got something, but he literally started with the sheep. He was in the bottom. He worked hard his whole life. He didn't really have peace. He was a man of war, of bloodshed, and he could not build the temple. He had the money to build the temple. David was about to do it, and the Lord said, you got too much blood on your hands. This is not for you to do. And so I say that because in our life sometimes we may want to do things, we may want to try and get there, but it may not be for us to do, right? It may be for our children to do that. Not us living vicariously through our children, but it may be for our children to do something. It may be our children to accomplish that feat. But we may be the ones who have to be the workhorse to get them to that point. It may be like that because David put in a lot of work, a whole lot of work. He went through a lot of stuff in his life. I couldn't just put the whole scriptures of David. Like, it was just too much to try and encompass. But David was really, he got to the point of that wealth. And so Solomon now, what Solomon did was he did ask for wisdom. And when he asked for wisdom, that's, as you say, that's when he magnified what his dad did. So he took what his dad had from a wealth standpoint, he magnified it. Now, also in Kings, in 1 Kings, it's either chapter 1 or chapter 2, there's a part in there where David is talking to Solomon. And he's giving Solomon advice. He is talking with Solomon, he's giving him advice. So he's giving Solomon advice about being a king, about this. So when we talk about mindset, this is what David is giving Solomon. He's giving him the mindset of what it takes to be a king, what things that you need to be a king, okay? And so I think it's very important that as we talk about legacy, some of the things you were talking about at the beginning was about mindset. It's not just all about the money, but it's also money is a part of the legacy. Money is a part of the inheritance, but it's also the mindset, right? It's also the blessing, which just what Rainey was talking about. I mean, how many of us, when we do have our children, are we really praying over our children for that next time? How many of us take our children to teach them about certain things? Now, I know it's coming from a guy who don't have children, so, you know, y'all can say whatever you want to about me, but I do look at it, even though I don't have any children yet. I always use my nephew as an example. Man, I really care about that guy a lot. And he's 16 now. And so I try my best to sow into him as much as I can. You know, I try my best to use my mistakes so hopefully he don't have to go through that. You know what I mean? I try my best to talk to him about money and talk to him about all these different things so that he will understand, and maybe I can pass something through him. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. But I think all those things are important. And so with that, if somebody has a Bible, somebody would go to Deuteronomy 8:18, and this is really pretty much bringing all of this together. It's the most important part. So it says the Lord is the one who gives you the power to get wealth. So if we think about David's situation, I feel like David was given the power to do what he did through the Lord, right? So it's always keeping the focus on God, because he's the one who's enabling us to have these legacies, to pass things on. He's the one who's enabling it to keep it going. He's the one who's going to continue to bless us. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind, and that's something that's so important. But I just wanted to showcase these people, and obviously it's a lot of different people in the Bible who are wealthy, but just showcase these people as these are literally generation from generation to generation of people who pass something down. So wouldn't it be so great if you were the person to your grandchildren or to their grandchildren that they're still living off and eating off what you did, or they're still thinking in a mindset based off of what you did? Think about it like in those terms. And so with that, I think it's a perfect segue. If somebody read Proverbs 13:22, I just want to let that marinate for a second. Let's just let that one. So I really like that scripture, but it's the last part of it. Like, everybody knows a good man leaves a heritage for his children's children. But then it switches over. It says, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. So just let that marinate. And as we letting that marinate, what we've talked about thus far, do you all think legacy is important? Why or why not?
Well, there's two ways to think about that. Obviously, the selfish way, and then the God's way in my mind. You know, everybody's like, what am I going to leave?
Mm-hmm.
What did I do? What
Mm-hmm.
can I do? I don't want to be forgotten. I want my jersey hung up in the rafters, or something like that. Versus, what did God do that I can pass on, you know, for His legacy? What am I doing for the Lord to leave? You know, because you said in two ways too. You know, setting up your family maybe financially to live and eat off what you did, or to think how you thought. And if your thought lines up with the Lord, then you're just passing down the Lord's word from generation to generation to generation as He wants us to do. That's where our wealth and legacy should really lie.
Okay.
That's what comes to mind.
Yeah, well, that's good. And so what you're speaking to is a lot of the motivating factor, right? That's something that people can't see. But I think the motivating factor is very important. It goes with the blessing too. You know, it's difficult you can pray over somebody something, but if your heart is not right, the motivation is in the right place, then it starts to become kind of, you know, difficult. Now, we know God has grace and mercy, but I do agree with you. It's definitely a two-way street with that. But, so do you all think, even with that, how important do you think it is something that is important? You know, do you think legacy is something important? Even if the motivation isn't even in the right spot, do you still think it's important?
Yes.
Say yes? Okay.
For too many people that I know personally, when they think in terms of legacy, they do not see leaving money and property as important.
Yeah.
There's too many of us that think in terms of, I'm going to spend all the money on me, you got to earn your own. Or they're even thinking of, well, mom don't need to be in the house, so let's just do the reverse mortgage. None of us want the house, none of us want the land, none of us want the property.
Right.
We all have our own. So leaving stuff, money and property and stuff is not as important to some
Yeah.
as it should be.
Right.
And as far as leaving a godly legacy, it's farther down.
Yeah, I agree. But that's why legacy in general, it is something that may be important. We can agree. But then again, you know, is it something that we think about? So, you know, my next thing was about question was about examples of that, of leaving a legacy that we even see today. I think as you was talking, you gave some examples of how people think. Durant was kind of co-signing. You didn't see what he was doing. I'm not gonna do what he was doing, but he was right about what he was doing, about sometimes how our community may think a certain way or feel a certain way about something. But can any of y'all think about an example of legacy in a good way or in a bad way, that things didn't go properly?
When my grandfather passed, he left $10,000 for each of his children. And he left $1,000 for each of us grandchildren. And he also said, now, you all need to make sure that you leave something for your children and your grandchildren. Because when he left, there was 5 generations. But he left for his children and his grandchildren because he believed in Proverbs 13. So he was living for his children and his children's children.
Yeah. And, you know, that's amazing, because I think sometimes, again, we're talking about these very super rich people who are, in the word, very wealthy. But you don't have to be crazy wealthy in order to leave something to somebody, right? Even if it's $500, if that's what you could do, that's what you could do, you know? I know for me, my mom, she didn't really have anything, you know what I'm saying? When it was her time and she passed away, she didn't have anything to leave us. But I know, and I was able to tell her this, I said, well, Mom, you left a lot of stuff in us. And I know that in her heart, it wasn't that she didn't want to leave us something. She just literally could not. Like, she literally was not in a situation that enabled her to do that. But she did, however, leave what she could in me and my sister. And I think that's important too. But as Ms. Martin was saying, it doesn't mean that leaving things and property is not unimportant. Like, it doesn't matter. It's still a part of it if you can do that. And not just leaving them with the property and the things, but how to handle that property, how to handle those things, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, you know, in the beginning about my aunt and my grandma.
Right.
Material, you know, money.
Right.
And her, but not the mindset. So it's gone in one generation.
Yeah.
However, again, my grandma is my hero.
Yeah.
I looked up to her, and then I see all the good stuff in me, being a giver. Like unconditional forgiveness, like I forgive immediately.
Right.
My grandma forgave me. She didn't leave us any money, but every day, Monday through Friday, she gave everybody 50 cents.
Yeah.
You know, like she gave, you know, that's why, you know, in my brain, she was not a respectable person, so she'd be like, oh, homeless people on the streets. And I would see her, like, what is wrong? You know what I'm saying? So that is in me.
Right.
That's just, I just do that.
Right.
Those are the things that I saw her do.
Right.
So in my brain, legacy has always been mindset.
Right.
And the action.
Right.
But I still will, you know, have money for my kids.
It's all goes together. It all goes together. It's like you're talking about what you saw your grandma do. So for us as children, I'm pretty sure we can all think about more is caught than taught, right? You may, like, your children could get older and you be like, you so selfish, you don't ever give. But if you like think back, like, did they ever see me give anything to anybody? How would they ever pick up on that? You know what I mean? So, and that starts the legacy right there. Hey, welcome back, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed that video about legacy. I hope that you're able to take something from it and you really start to think about what kind of legacy are you gonna leave your children? What kind of legacy are you gonna leave your children's children, all right? So I know I'm talking from a financial sense, whether it's finances, whether it's property, of how you can pass those things down to the next generation. But think about this too. If they don't know the skills, how to handle that type of wealth or how to handle what you're passing down, that's no good either. So make sure you leave something in them as well, okay? Not just to them, but in them. But both of them are very important. Don't think of one as more than the other, but they're both very, very important things, all right? Because listen, man, you already know, you guys work way too hard. Way too hard to be scrounging, to have nothing left over to give someone else, so hopefully bless them so that your generation can continually do better even after you, all right? So instead, I want you to choose faith over fear for your finances And of course, happy Friday!